Now let's move to the 7th step. So the 7th step is called DEO, and DEO stands for direct and off. So if you look at our graph over here, DEO and BDW has a lot of similarities. So first of all, both are shaded with the same shade of blue, and then both have arrows inside. So we have arrows. But if the arrows of BDW goes from left to right, the arrow of DEO goes from right to left. So this basically signifies how you are going to read out DEO. So how do we do that? To read out DEO, we're going to do it row by row. So let's start with the first row. C is direct and off S. Okay, so it has similarity with BDW. BDW, we are reading it from left to the right as BDWA, but for DEO we are reading from right to left, CDEOS. So I'm going to list out the first property or the first list, CDEOS. Okay, next, what do we have? We can also have ADEOA, and we can also have CDEOB. So let me list that out. ADEOA, CDEOB, but for step 7, you should also consider nullable non-terminal because we have an arrow coming in from step 1. So again, class, if we have to consider nullable non-terminal, what we are doing is we try to cancel out our nullable non-terminal from the grammar. So if we are cancelling A over here, something happens to step 2, or sorry, rule 2. We can also have B DEOA. So I'm going to add into our step 7, B DEOA. Okay, so we are done with step 8. Next, let's move on to we are done with step 7. So now let's move on to step 8, but let me move this thing first. Okay, step 8 is EO. EO has lots of similarities with BW in the sense that it is actually a reflexive transitive closure of DEO. So if you look here, it has similarities to BW. Both have arrows coming in from the prior step, and both has star on top of the arrows. If BW is the reflexive transitive closure of BDW, EO is actually the reflexive transitive closure of DEO. So, but if you look at the symbols here for BW, we need to consider all terminals in the transitive property, in the reflexive property. For EO, we are actually including all non-terminals in the reflexive property. But let's start one by one. So everything in DEO should be inside EO. So I'm going to write it down again. CEOS, AEOA, CEOB, BEOA. Okay, let's check whether we have a transitive property. It looks like we do not have a transitive property. So how about the reflexive property? So let's make it a habit to start with all the non-terminals first. SEOS. Okay, because we already have AEOA over here, we do not need to list it out again. So I'm going to proceed with B, E, O, B, and then B, lowercase b, E, O, lowercase b. This one over here, this one should be small letter, is it? Yes, this should be small letter. Sorry, because of the autocorrect, we became confused a little bit. Okay, so C, E, O, C. So this is the list for our EO. So how do we consider all nullable non-terminal? Sorry, not nullable non-terminal, all non-terminals. So where are all of our non-terminals? A, B. But because we already have A, E, O, A over here and B, E, O, B over here, so we do not need to add it again. Okay. So we are done from step 1 up until step 9. Now we are moving to the biggest step.